Hey guys, Kiwi Sylvian, and welcome back to Cinderella Phenomenon. We finished up chapter 4 in the last part, and apparently she can smile. My face cam was covering it though, so I went back and showed it. But apparently I can smile, but now this chapter is called To Protect. The man starts walking towards us slowly. Waltz moves to stand in front of me. Princess, stay close to me. Good evening, Princess Penelope. And good evening to you too, Peter Pan. Nani? The man drops into an elegant bow. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Varg. What do you want, Varg? How do you know who we are? I'd love to stay and chat, but I have more important things to do. The princess is coming with me. Varg takes one long stride towards us. He taps the cane he's holding on the ground. A surge of light emanates from the cane, then flares out towards us. Princess, go back to the mark and hurry! Waltz starts toward Varg before I can stop him. Varg raises his cane and twists it in one sharp movement. The light abruptly changes direction and slams into Waltz's side, throwing him some distance away. Waltz! Before I can step away, Varg has lifted me into his arms. He grins at me, almost wolfishly, before darting away from Waltz. No! Princess! Let me go! No can do, Princess. I let you go, and things will get messy. What do you want from me? Are you a... I can't even say the word. My blood runs cold as I consider the situation. Are you a witch? That I am not. You expect me to believe you? You just used magic back there. I guess I did. Let me go! He squirmed in his arms, attempting to kick and push him away from me. Varg abruptly stops with a grunt to let me down. This is my chance! I start to bolt away from him, but he quickly grabs my wrist and pulls me back. Not so fast. Get your hands off of me! I'm not here to hurt you, Princess. After what you did to Waltz? He leans in towards me until he can look me in the eyes. Well, he was in the way. Besides, it's not like I killed him. Varg begins to walking again, this time pulling me with him. I try to break away from his iron grip, but fail. Where are you taking me? Back to where you truly belong. If there's one thing I've learned from fairy tales, it's that a princess belongs in a palace. I'm unable to stop the gas that leaves my lips. He stops and turns to me. You've been away from home far too long, Princess. Don't you want to go back? I do want to go home, but I'm not welcome there anymore. At least not while I'm cursed. Really, sir? Is that who I think it is? Varg releases me just in time to block a sword strike that comes out of the darkness of the trees. Hi! How annoying. I could say the same thing about you. I back away as the two trade blows. Varg uses his cane to defend himself against the man that just emerged from the trees. That man. He's the one who was with Waltz. The man with the sword that helped save me from the bandits all those months ago. something graceful in the way the man moves as he swings his sword at Varg. He almost looks like he's dancing. The stranger continues swiping the sword, eventually gaining enough leverage to force Varg back. He moves so quickly that it takes all of Varg's reflexes simply to block his slashes. They're so fast. Varg takes a few steps back, and he keeps a safe distance from the stranger. Impressive. The man gives Varg a lopsided smile as he points his sword at him. The two of them temporarily frozen as they wait for the other to make a move. You're not bad yourself. I forget what I gave Karma for a male voice. Wait, is that... Now that he stopped, and I have a better look at him, I can see the stranger's features are uncannily similar to Karma's. Karma? But is it really him? Princess, are you okay? I turned my head to see Waltz and Delora rushing towards me. How did you find me? Delora used her magic to track you. Thankfully, no other witches beat us here. Waltz halts in front of me while Delora advances toward the two men. So, what do we have here? Delora, right? Can't say it's a pleasure to meet you. I have to compliment you all. You did an impressive job hiding the princess from us. Took a while to finally track her down. Finding your so-called tavern was difficult, you know. But I got lucky. How does he know about the tavern? No sooner are the words out of Varg's mouth that the swordsman is suddenly upon him again, poised to attack. Varg blocks his sword a second too late and is forced back away, clutching his now bloody arm. You talk too much. Sorry, I shouldn't have forgotten my manners in front of royalty. Hello? Varg's gaze turns to Delora, a smirk somehow still on his face despite his injury. You have quite an interesting bunch with you, witch. How about joining us instead? We can always use more witches like yourself. Thanks, but no thanks. Too bad. Varg turns to look at me. He holds out a hand and gestures me towards him. Come with me, princess. You know you don't belong here. I clench my hand in a fist as I shake my head. Your mother won't be very happy with your decision, princess. Especially after all she's done to make sure you'll be a suitable heir. Mother? What are you talking about? But Varg ignores me as he raises his cane. Sorry to leave this party so quickly, but I'll be back soon enough for you, princess. Next time, whether you like it or not, you'll be coming with me. I'm not done with you! Thick smoke envelops the area, making my eyes water. When the smoke clears, Varg is gone. Delora huffs in annoyance as she lowers her arms back down to her sides. To think that those witches are using human to do their dirty work. What was that cane he was carrying? I look up at the stranger who has sheathed his sword and is walking towards where Waltz, Delora, and I are standing. It's an enchanted item. That cane has been infused with a spell that allows Varg to use magic. Limited magic, but powerful enough to make him dangerous. Well, it's far easier for a human to explore the kingdom without anyone getting suspicious. The stranger stands close enough for me to get a proper look at his face. I can't can no longer deny the resemblance I saw earlier. Karma? Is that really you? You have good eyes, darling. So this is what Karma looks like as a man. Why does he need to disguise himself as a woman? I open my mouth to ask a question when I'm interrupted by Waltz's hand on my shoulder. Are you hurt anywhere? I turn to Waltz and freeze when I notice the dry blood on his forehead. You're bleeding! I'll be fine. I step back and realize that Waltz is standing oddly, favoring one leg to the other. Varg must have hurt him badly. You shouldn't have come here. I had to. It's my fault Varg dragged you in the first place. Waltz forces a smile, but I can see the sadness in his eyes. I couldn't protect you at all. I'm so sorry. Why do you keep worrying about me? I'm not even hurt. What if something happens to you? Waltz smiles. He tries, with great effort, to mask his pain. I'm happy that you're worried about me, Princess. It doesn't matter what happens to me so long as you aren't hurt. How can you say that? Waltz's expression suddenly twists and he doubles over, his eyes glazed in pain. Waltz! Shit. Delora catches one of Waltz's arms, supporting him as she turns to address both Karma and I. We should return to the Markin. Rumple needs to see Waltz's injuries. Rumple? I'll explain everything once we're back. So I think no matter what happens in Chapter 5, Rumple does still become a doctor. Okay. Delora calls for Rumple as soon as we arrive at the Markin. When Rumple enters the reception area, he is clearly distraught by Waltz's injuries. What happened? Heal first. Explain later. I expect Rumple to object and surprisingly does nothing more than nod. Carefully, Rumple leads Waltz back to his room so he can be treated. So Laura looks at the direction Rumple and Waltz have gone with a thoughtful look on her face. We're lucky that we have a Rumple here with us. And he is good with herbs and small wounds, but Rumple has experience with more serious injuries. Experience? What are you talking about? Remember his curse? Rumple is not the only one who doesn't remember who he is. None of the townsfolk remember his name either. But what about those with the curse? Shouldn't they at least still be able to remember his name? Rumple is an exception to that rule, as he is with many things. In this case, not a single person can remember his name. Funny thing is, they still recognize him. He ran into someone who called him a doctor today. Even just hearing it brought a memory back. He got one of the chapters of his journal back now. He's quite the proficient doctor. He collects his journal pages by retrieving memories from others that still remember it. What a strange curse. My eyes wander around the reception area and notice that someone is missing. Where's Karma? Don't worry about him. He's probably changing now. I don't understand why Karma is so secretive about his reasons for wearing a disguise. I'm about to ask Dolor if she knows any of the specifics of Karma's curse when the door to the reception area is thrown open. Princess! I'm surprised when Denise suddenly throws her arms around me. She pulls me into a tight hug. I was so worried about you. Thank goodness you're safe. She pulls away and begins to wipe at the tears that have sprung to her eyes. Why are you crying? Because I was worried about you, silly. Was she really so worried she'd cry? Why? I am intensely aware of the awkwardness of the situation. Thank you for worrying about me. I had thought the words might do something to ease her worries, but her sobbing only grows louder. A niece? Get you something warm to drink. I stare off after Anise before I turn and look at Delora worriedly. Did I say the wrong thing? Quite the opposite, actually. You've made her very happy. I did? But she was crying. They call tears of joy, Princess. I'd be overwhelmed too if you were suddenly nice to me. Miracles tend to bring people to tears. I just said thank you. And that was a kindness in and of itself. No wonder she's so happy. I was being kind? And congratulations, Princess. I see you've managed to complete your first good deed. My hands move instinctively to my pendant. I clutch at the new piece that hangs there. I knew you could do it. Delora smiles warmly. For some reason, it makes me feel strangely proud. Parfait walks into the room, startling us both. It's been 2 weeks since I last saw her. Her face is ashen. Parfait! You know that continuously using your magic takes a toll on your body. I have no choice. The witches... Her voice trails off as her eyes meet Delora's. Parfait and Delora look at each other solemnly. The tension in the room mounts as they continue to stare at each other without uttering a word. Eventually, Parfait's eyes wander to me. Keeping her in the dark won't make this situation any better, Delora. Parfait moves towards me, but her knees buckle. Before I can react, Delora's already at her side supporting her. Parfait, you need to rest. I'll take care of this. No, she needs to hear this from both of us. So stubborn. What's going on? We wanted to tell you about this later, but we can no longer afford to wait. Delora helps Parfait to a chair. I tentatively take a seat opposite the two of them. We're going to tell you the whole truth of this situation. The whole truth? And nothing but the truth, so help you God? Delora sighs before she eventually speaks. Do you know why I cursed you, Princess? Some twisted sense of mischief? That's not the whole reason. We needed you to change your ways, Princess. To change how you see the world. If we didn't do something, you are going to end up as merciless as cold-hearted as your mother. What are you talking about? My eyes go to Parfait, but she doesn't meet my gaze. Hilda, your mother, was not always so cruel. Parfait's eyes look wet as if she's about to cry. Why are you speaking as if you knew her? She was my friend. Long before she was the queen, Hilda was like a sister to me. But she changed when the witch hunt started. What does the witch hunt have to do with Mother? Parfait doesn't meet my eyes, but Delora is looking right at me. Your mother was a witch, Penelope. The most powerful of the witches, in fact. Hilda was the Tenebrarum bearer. My heart drops in the pit of my stomach. No, that's impossible! I never saw her use magic. She can't be a witch. That's what she wanted you to believe. You can't keep something like that a secret. If you try hard enough, you can keep anything a secret. Even from your own family. But how? The Lord pauses for a long moment before she speaks. She erased your memories, Penelope. The air leaves my lungs as I struggle to remain calm. Waltz said that Mother ordered my memories to be erased. But are they saying that it was Mother herself who erased my memories? Jagged pieces of memory and thought began to snap together in my mind. She needed you. What? She needed you obedient and compliant. Whenever you acted out, she took that memory of disobedience from you. And it didn't take long didn't take long at all to mold you into a perfect and unquestioning little doll. I gripped my dress without realizing. My hands were shaking. Then I did know Waltz. Mother really did erase my memories of him. How much of my childhood did I lose? Hilda cherished humans before. She was kind and selfless. She was devoted to maintaining the balance between the Lucis and the Tenebarum. But Hans... Dolores moves to place a gentle hand on Parfay's shoulder. It's not your fault. I trusted him too much. He swore that they would only be stories, small fantasies to share with his children. Hilda wanted to turn him away, but I disagreed. I allowed Hans to weave his tales about witches and fairies. The fairy tales. Dolores nods. Hans's fairy tales became hugely popular, and in practically every single one of his stories, it was a witch who was bad and a fairy who was good. To add insult to injury, it was well known that Hans had been welcomed by the Lucis bearer, but not by the Tenebarum bearer. The humans took that information and their imaginations ran wild. Hilda and I went to see Hans to beg him to tell the truth, but it was too late. No matter what Hans said, everyone believed he was being threatened by the witches. I don't think he ever meant for things to get so out of hand either. When the king at the time, your grandfather, also voiced his negative opinion on witches, he only added fuel to the fire. It was as if he was giving humans permission to carry on with their witch genocide. And we could do nothing but to defend ourselves. We are bound by our oath to never hurt a living soul. The witch hunt lasted for years. Most of us were slaughtered. All witches are bound to the Tenebarum bearer through the Tenebarum itself. Hilda felt each of the deaths like it was her own. It drove her mad. And she broke her oath. She killed the king, your grandfather. Mother killed my grandfather? As Hilda's power kept growing, more and more good witches were corrupted through her influence on the Tenebarum. I tried to stop her, but she was already lost to reason. Hilda wanted to take Angielle for the witches. She wanted to take revenge on the humans for what they had done to all of us. And since your father was next in line, Hilda forced Gennaro to marry her so she would have a legitimate claim to the throne. And she did it even though she knew he loved another woman. And she did it even though she knew, well, the very woman who sits on the throne today. Ophelia? Dolores nods. The king has always loved Ophelia? Hilda created the Fairytale Curse to punish the humans. She wanted to fuel the Tenebrarum with their hatred and anger. Parfait's voice becomes very soft. The balance between dark and light was lost. While Hilda lived, Angielle was a place of grief. I can feel an impending heartache coming. But even if what you said is true, Mother's dead. She's been dead for 4 years. She is. But for some reason, the witches are becoming more active. Garland and Jurin's patrols have confirmed this. Patrols? Is that why they disappear at night? I had to cast a glamour on you so the other witches would be unable to recognize you as the princess. But it seems like they've already seen through your glamour. They're looking for you, princess. The witches are looking for you. Oh boy. What? Why? The Tenebrarum needs a bearer. A witch needs to take on that role and regulate the balance between the Lucis and the Tenebrarum. For the past few years, it's been in a state of hibernation. We believe Hilda infused her life into the Tenebrarum to keep it stable. But now, the Tenebrarum is beginning to wake again. We believe that's why so many people are being cursed lately. The witches are preparing for their new bearer. Dolores turns to me with an expression I can't quite read. They only have to wait until you turn 18. What? The air in the room seems to disappear all at once. Princess, on your 18th birthday, your curse will break regardless of whether you complete your 3 good deeds. And you will become the Tenebrarum bearer. You will inherit that title and power from your mother. Impossible! My heart is racing and I feel faint. Even if Mother was a witch, I can't use magic at all. All halflings like you inherit their magic at 18. No, I'm human! Princess. Dolores' expression is grim as she speaks. We've been watching over you for a long time, Penelope. We know what sort of influence your mother had on you. The curse was a test. We needed to know that you wouldn't return Angielle to what it was when your mother was queen. We can't allow another great war to tear Angielle apart. Dolores and I believe that there's still goodness left in you. You just need a wake-up call. Thus, the curse and the 3 good deeds. We wanted you to see that... We wanted you to see what you hadn't in years. To be exposed to the true reality of things. And above all, we need to see that you are capable of 3 good deeds. I attempt to grasp the fleeting thoughts in my mind, but to no avail. I feel numb. That's it. No more secrets. Parfait's voice is gentle when she speaks to me. The future of this kingdom is in your hands. Will you follow your mother's footsteps? Or will you achieve the same balance that we had before? No matter how much I try, I'm unable to sleep after my talk with Dolores and Parfait. Mother was a wicked witch, and I'm the next bearer of the Ten of Barham. It all makes sense now. So many people hated me because they thought I would be just like Mother. I feel the weight of that truth crash down on me, and it's suffocating. What am I supposed to do now? I turn to my side and bring my knees to my chest. How do I know what the truth is anymore? Suddenly an idea occurs to me. There's one other person who might know the truth. Waltz. I wonder how he's doing. I slip out of my room and make my way towards Waltz's. Waltz is sound asleep when I push the door to his room open. He looks so small on the bed. I pause to look at the hefty amount of herbs lying on the table. Those herbs. I remember niece once told me that they help with pain. Rumple and niece have given Waltz a lot of them. Thoughts of the truth of my mother retreat to the back of my mind as I remember the encounter with Varg. Waltz would have never gotten hurt if it wasn't for me. My eyes begin to sting. I need to take these off. They're digging into my scalp. I'm getting a headache. Gotta. For the first time in years, I let tears flow freely. I don't even know why I'm crying, and I find myself talking aloud. You said that crying doesn't make a person weak. It certainly makes me feel that way. Hello? You're not weak, Princess. Nani? Hey. Oh. Waltz? When did he wake up? You're the strongest person I know. Waltz's voice is soft and his words are slurred. Oh. He's clearly still under the influence of the medication he's been given, but he still continues to speak. Despite everything you've gone through, you're still standing on your own 2 feet. I can't lie anymore. I've only been pretending to be a strong person. I can't do this anymore. Knowing all this time I've been living a life full of lies. I'm questioning even my mother's affections now. Another dangerously gloomy thought hangs in the brink of my mind. If Mother didn't care about me, that means no one did at all. Oh my God. I do. I care about you, Penelope. Most of the voice begins to grow weak as his eyes flutter closed. You're tired, Waltz. You should sleep. Penelope. His voice is slurred and slow, Hearing him say my name without the title somehow feels nostalgic. Please don't cry, little star. Waltz closes his eyes, finally surrendering to sleep. God damn it. I take a deep breath, and irony, my phone decides to play the opening song to this. Closing the door quietly behind me. Again! Okay. Abra? Cadabra! Teach me how to do it too! A magician never reveals a secret, little star. You always say that. Please. Just this one. Please, Waltz. On your birthday, I'll teach you how to do it on your birthday. Promise. Ah. I wake slowly, the dream somehow still clear in my mind. A dream about Waltz? Was that a memory? I shake my head before I glance at the clock, stopping to stare at the time. How is it already this late? I didn't do it! Oh. Princess? Waltz? The door opens and Waltz walks inside with a tray of food. I sit down by my bedside as I stare at him in shock. You're finally awake. Waltz, you're supposed to be in bed! I'm only injured, not invalid, Princess. But I'm fine, Princess. It's not like you to worry so much. I respond to a smile with an exasperated sigh. He will never heal properly if he doesn't stay in bed. Here, I wanted to give you this yesterday. Waltz reaches behind his back and pulls out a neatly wrapped box. It looks as if he pulled it out of thin air. Waltz. Another magic trick? He hands me the wrapped box. What's this? You don't need to open it to find out. This is... You've been wanting this, haven't you? I stare down at the doll he bought for me. It's the same one that caught my eye in the shop. The reason we went to this toy shop was so that you could buy this for me. Yep, I'm glad it didn't get damaged last night. My tight chest. My chest tightens with emotion. These dolls are expensive. Waltz would have needed more than just his usual soul chips to buy this. Why would you buy this for me? I figured you might want the extra company. Plus, you've always loved dolls, so I thought this one might cheer you up. I stare at the doll as I cradle her in my hands, my heart feeling full in my chest. Thank you. I've never gotten an unexpected gift like this before. Waltz clears his throat, and when I look up at him, I notice his expression is somehow sad. Lady Parfait told me what she and Laura told you. Told me that she and Dolores told you the whole story yesterday. I have to apologize to you. For what? The reason why they didn't tell you earlier is because I asked to keep it a secret. I looked down at the doll, my mouth suddenly dry. Why? Because I wanted you to enjoy having a normal life, even if it was just for a short time. Knowing the truth limits your freedom. I didn't want you to feel that pressure so soon. I can see now that it was selfless of me to deprive you of the truth. I'm sorry. I clutched tighter at the doll, unable to look up at Waltz. Why would you be so kind without expecting anything in return? Kindness doesn't always have to need to be paid back. When you do something for someone, they will always expect the favor to be returned. That's what Mother taught me. From what I have experienced, no one is ever kind without expecting something in return. I don't expect anything from you in return, Princess. But how can I know for certain that you're speaking the truth? Well, you can't. No matter what someone's true intentions are, their actions are always up for a different interpretation. So it'll be up to you to judge their actions. Only you can decide whether or not to believe in me. I pulled my knees to my chest, curling up around the doll. I still don't understand how you could be kind to me. You told me yourself that it was the Tenenbaum bear that cursed you. That means my mother... Your mother was the witch that took away my magic and sealed it in Neverland. But that doesn't mean it was your fault that I'm cursed. You're more than just Hilda's daughter, Princess. You're your own person, and I know for a fact that you're capable of more goodness than Hilda ever was. Waltz gestured toward my necklace. You're only 2 good deeds away from breaking your curse. I wouldn't have accomplished the first one without your help. In fact, I would have done nothing to help break your... My voice trails off as my thoughts begin to come together. Waltz, to break your curse, you need to find Tinkerbell and Neverland, right? What do they look like? Neverland is a gold box with a carving of wings on the top, and Tinkerbell is the magic key. I sit up abruptly. We have to go to the palace. Waltz stares at me, his expression clearly perplexed. What? Why? Because I know where to find Tinkerbell in Neverland. Yay! Hi, Mr. Tall, dreamy guy. Rod's still number 1 next to Karma. Waltz's description of Neverland Tinkerbell was enough to jog my memory. A long time ago, Mother gave me a box and a key that matched Waltz's earlier description perfectly. She gave me strict instructions to hide them in my room and to never let anyone else have them. I never questioned Mother's orders, and kept both the box and key tucked in one of my drawers. I had forgotten I even had those things until Waltz mentioned them. The minute I remembered, I sent a letter to Rod requesting he help us get into the palace. Not that Rod would probably do it, because he's a dick and stuff. I knew that our strained relationship would make it hard for him to trust me, so I emphasized the importance of the item we needed to obtain. A week later, he finally came through. Now we were just outside the palace, waiting for him. Itch your ear. Jern and Garland are here to protect us in case the need arises. I glanced at Waltz, who's standing beside me, fidgeting. He's been against me coming with him ever since he found out my plans. He can't stop me. I refuse to be left behind. You still won't change your mind about this, princess? You know the situation with the witches. It's not safe for you to be here. It's not safe for me anywhere outside the market, and you know that. Besides, how do you plan on finding Neverland and Tinkerbell without me? I'm the only one who knows where they are. Like I said, if you would just tell me where they are, I can go on my own. There's no need for you to put yourself in this much danger. I'm going, and you can't stop me, Waltz. Princess. I turned to face him fully. This is my choice, Waltz. I want to do this. For a moment, there's silence between us as Waltz studies my expression. He eventually sighs and shakes his head. I should know by now that there's no change in your mind when you've determined to do something. Just promise to stay close to me, okay? I nod absently as I feel around my pocket for a small object. A vial that Parfait gave to me before Waltz and I left for the palace. She said that it should help us when the need arises. It's a shame that neither Parfait nor Delora could be here due to their urgent meeting with the fairies. Sharon and Garland finally arrived with Rod. Ready? I can only nod and reply. Hopefully nothing will go wrong. Never say that in the game. If you've watched so many games, you never want to say that. We make our way through a secret passageway. I've heard of this secret passageway from the king before, but this is the first time I've actually been here. They say this was built as an escape route should the need to evacuate the royal family arises. Only the commander of the Order of Kadira and the king know about this place. Rod, how do you even know of this place? How did you get a key? I thought only the king and Sir Alcaster had copies. It was Lady Parfait who showed me this place and gave me the key. I can't leave the palace unattended in normal circumstances, so she suggested I go through here whenever I needed to get to the market. Then how was she able to get the copy of the key? You should ask her that yourself. Anyway, you haven't even told me what you needed from your room. It's an item that will break Waltz's curse. I see. Why did it take you so long to respond to my letter? The palace had been on high alert since last week. Why? Rod stops and looks at me. The hesitation is clear in his eyes. Did something happen? A week ago, the king received a letter. A warning. A letter? It said that 3 days from now, the king will be judged and convicted. His crown will be given to one more worthy. I stare at Rod with slow understanding. 3 days from now? But that date... Your 18th birthday. I continue to stare at Rod in disbelief. This can't be a coincidence. But a new king? Do you think someone is specifically targeting my father? We all know that royals are always in danger. But this threat has made the king especially nervous. Are the witches involved in this? The silence that follows within the tunnels is heavy. Hang on. Aww. Rod, stop being a sweetheart. They think there's a good chance they must be. That's why the Order of Kadira has tightened security. We continue walking in silence. Eventually, Rod points to something ahead of us. Here we are. The dim light of the tunnels illuminates a rusted door that leads into the palace. Rod looks around warily while Waltz and I quickly duck into the shadows of a column. The guards will be doing their rounds on this side soon. We need to hurry. Right. The halls are thankfully quiet as we traverse them. Rod did a good job of scoping out the times of patrols. Eventually, when we reach my room, I stop at my door to my room, suddenly overwhelmed by the nostalgia. It's been so long since I've been in my room. Is this Emmeline's room now? No. By the king's orders, your room has been untouched since you were cursed. Then, what has become of this room? I look at Rod in shock as he studies the door to my room with a complicated expression on his face. I think the maids are sent in here to dust occasionally, but otherwise everything should be just as it was before. But why would the king keep the room as it is if he doesn't remember me? I turn back to the door thoughtfully, then glance at Rod. We can handle the rest. You should leave before you draw any unwanted attention. I don't want you to get in trouble. Don't worry, we'll figure out a way back to that passage without alerting anyone. What? You've changed. What do you mean by that? You would never have cared about someone. You would have never. You never. Blah, 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 blah. You never would have cared about someone's safety before. Rod turns to leave before I can respond. Be careful. Thank you. Garland and I will stand outside. Make it quick. I nod at Jern before turning back to the door and turning the knob. Click. I glance at Waltz as he nods at me. I take a deep breath and open the door. Ooh, so pretty. Rod told me that my room had been untouched since I left, but I was not expecting it to be like this. Nothing has changed. Not a thing out of place. There's not even a speck of dust on the dolls on my shelf. Penelope. I'm confused as to why this room has been untouched. Certainly the king would have thought to do something else with it. Or at the very least, he would not have the maids coming in consistently to clean it. I can't let myself linger on the question. I have no time for them. We came here to find Neverland and Tinkerbell. I'll look at Waltz and nod. Let's start searching. Time passes, but I'm only able to find the key. The box is nowhere to be found, not even in the drawer that I remember putting it in. To think that you had Neverland and Tinkerbell this whole time. Tinkerball. Tinklerball. Have you tried searching for it in my room before? I have, but I didn't find anything. She must have used a glamour spell to hide it from me. I stare at the key with frustration. So pretty. I don't understand. I'm sure it was here. Are you sure you didn't throw it away? No. I would never throw away such a beautiful box. Besides, I keep most of my things. They're all valuable to me, even if they're not outwardly beautiful. I wouldn't have believed you if you had seen this. He leans down to pluck a puppet from one of my drawers. He holds it up with a smile, and I feel my cheeks heat in embarrassment. Aww! So cute. I just... I never remember to throw that out. Waltz gazes at me thoughtfully. That's the only reason? Well, I look at the puppet in his hands and find the truth spilling out of me. I was never able to put my finger on why, but I've always liked that puppet. A smile stretches across Waltz's face. You kept it even though I did such a bad job with the sewing. What? You made this? Yeah, this is the first puppet I've ever made. Waltz stirs the puppet in his hands, looking down on it fondly before his eyes meet mine. You were the one who taught me how to sew in the first place, you know. What? Much confused, don't know. I was the one who taught him how to sew? I stare at the puppet. I probably kept it because you made it. How cruel. Huh? Do you have any idea what you're doing to my poor heart? You seem perfectly fine to me. Waltz shakes his head and sighs. Waltz? So dense. What? Come at me. Call me dense. I'll show you the density of my fist. The knot begins to turn. Waltz and I exchange glances before we both dart to different hiding places. Hide under bed. Yes! I hide myself under the bed, and he runs behind the curtains, which more easily conceal his smaller body. The king? What is he doing here? When the king steps inside, I notice there's something in his hands. Hi, Neverland. That's the box. But why does he have it? I look at Waltz and he gives me a small nod, affirming that it is indeed Neverland. Who's there? Show yourself now if you don't want to get hurt. Don't hurt the bed. The king unsheathes his sword. What shall we do? I look at Waltz, who signals me to stay in place. He mouths something, and I think he might be saying that he means to find a way to get us out. Someone's going to sacrifice himself again? Will he be alright? Should I trust him? Stay. Stay, Penelope. I nodded at Waltz. He steps out of the curtains and raises his hand in surrender. Forgive me, Your Majesty. I know you. You were Hilda's apprentice. Waltz, was it? I remember then that Waltz had worked for Mother, so naturally the king would know who he was. It's been a while, Your Majesty. I'm honored you still remember me. You haven't changed. Not at all. So Hilda really did curse you before betraying her. Betraying her? Betraying her how? The king places his sword back in its scabbard. I have no idea what you are doing here now, but the king surprises us both by getting down on one knee and bowing to Waltz. Your Majesty, you shouldn't... I was never able to thank you after the war, so thank you. You did so much for our kingdom, Waltz. So, thank you. We owe you our lives. If only all witches were as good as you. The king stands once again, his posture stiff and straight. There are more of us than you think, Your Majesty. I'm lost. What are they talking about? But I didn't do it for the kingdom. Waltz turns to look at me suddenly, a small smile on his face. I did it for her. Her? Who are you talking about? Waltz nods his head at me. It's alright, Penelope. If I get sliced in half, Waltz, it's your fault. I slide out of my hiding place and stand in front of the king. It's been months since I last saw him. The king's eyes widen as he looks at me. You're the girl from the gates. You remember me? It's more like I find it impossible to forget you. What? I have a lot of questions for you, the two of you, but the most important is why you're both in this room. Regardless of that fact, I know you, Waltz. You've still broken into the palace. We would not have done it if we didn't have to. I steel myself for further scolding when the king turns to look at me. That box you're holding, we needed to break Waltz's curse. How did you come to have it, Your Majesty? The king looks down at the box as if only noticing it for the first time. I was in this room the other day and noticed a chip down the side of the box. I took it to get fixed. A chip? I did drop it once a while back, but didn't think to get it fixed myself. Why would you do that? The king looks around the room, a faraway look in his eyes. This room is special to me, though I don't know why. I feel like this room and I are both waiting for someone to return, and everything must be perfect for when they do. I feel my chest tighten, even as the king huffs out a derisive laugh. What am I saying? He can't miss me. He doesn't remember me. He can't. Right? But if this box is all that you require, Waltz, you may have it. It's the least I can do after all you've done for us. The king holds out the box to Waltz, who reaches out to take it. Thank you, Your Majesty. Look who we have here. We all freeze at the sound of their voice. I turn and find an all too familiar face leaning against the doorway, a mischievous grin on his face. Hi, Varg. What a sweet little reunion. Varg? Chapter 6. Betrayals. Well, I'm going to end it here because this is now... What am I looking at? Chapter 6. Now this is where if you do so many bad choices, you get the bad ending, so. Ugh. How rude. Anyway, I'm going to end it here, and hopefully in the next episode, things will turn out good. Considering the title, I don't think so. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Remember to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and check out the link in the description below to get this game. Check out the other links in the description, like my Twitter and my Twitch. I will be streaming on Twitch occasionally, so pop over there if you want to. And thank you guys so much. Bye!